Hello everybody and welcome back to F1 22 with me, Dan, and the BMW Slothz team as we kick off today's race with a failed power unit upgrade again. This time it is of course the rotors for the ERS final upgrade. The exhaust system is just about finished. There we go. So we will see an increase to our power output and top straight line speed. And there we go. The rotors have finished as well. So we're expecting good things from this race here in Texas today. And well, hopefully even better things from the next race in Mexico as well, considering we got a big boost to straight line speed for that long straight. We pick up another upgrade for the ECU here for fuel efficiency, just because we can, and also there was another personnel upgrade just now as well. More reliability upgrades going on the car as we go into the season break, and then start going once again. Personnel upgrade incoming for the fitness center up to maximum, and more running costs. Will we get this ECU upgrade? Yes, we do, so we can fuel up with a little bit less fuel when we go to the races, which is, you know, every little bit of advantage that we can get, we will take if we can. Over to practice then, and once again, it's the usual process to try and pick up the maximum 100% success points first, then finish off P1. Optimistically looking through to see if we can find anything else, but no, we can't. Over to P2. Picking up another 90 points there. Hopefully another 90 points here as well. Yes, we do. And then over to the final one, which is showing up. It's not very often we get that, but we do fail it and try our luck for a 50%er. Fail that one as well. Not good. We failed a few in the last race as well, which isn't amazing. But at this point, we do have arguably the best car. The only reason that we're currently second in the performance graph is because of the reliability upgrades that we've just chosen not to get up to this point. Here we go with another downforce upgrade. Another failure there. We're going to go for it again, see if we can get it this time. We do on the second attempt. And now we'll just go through here, see if we can get any more. There's ERS management here, but no, we're going to go for this 25% success one with rear downforce. Fail that one. Pretty unsurprisingly, we go for it again, one last try, and no, we do in fact fail that in the end. So then it's back over to R&D, and we will pick up the nose cone upgrade, which makes the final front wing upgrade. So then it's over to the United States Grand Prix. This is a circuit that, if you've watched any of my previous races on the old channel, we had an initially good result here in the co-op career way back about a year ago, and then ever since then, with the performance changes on the 2021 car and then over to 2022, it's not been great. And one word of warning though, qualifying here was pretty bad. Anyway, don't forget to like this video, hit that subscribe button, and turn on that notification bell as we go to struggle around COTA for what must be the fourth or fifth time now. The qualifying issues we'll see in just a moment because of Zhou Guanyu blocking us on both of our fast laps, which was just incredible. So on the front row of the grid, we have our teammate taking pole position by less than a tenth over Lando Norris in the McLaren. Behind them, of course, we will be following the usual suspects: Fernando Alonso and Max Verstappen, Charles Leclerc and Sergio Perez, Lewis Hamilton and Lance Stroll, George Russell and Esteban Ocon. Then Pierre Gasly and Yuki Tsunoda, Robert Schwartzman and Kevin Magnussen. Behind them, Théo Pourchaire and Oscar Piastri. Then we have ourselves there in P17 ahead of Dan Ticktum, Mick Schumacher, Alex Albon. There's Zhou Guanyu and Nicholas Latifi with a penalty. Zhou Guanyu, of course, getting in our way multiple times on the hot lap and is the slowest driver on the grid at the moment in the slowest car, which doesn't make things very easy for us, that's for sure. As we come down track side, who are we going to get a look at today? That looks like Lance Stroll based on that helmet. It looks very Aston Martin-y. But there's a nice shot of the Alpine. There we are, sat in our car. We usually see this. So then we've got a lot of work to do. A lot of it can be done in turn 1 here because of the heavy braking zone and just the crowded nature of the AI going around the first corner. We've already lost the position though, but we should get it back as we actually try to defend from Alex Albon, but we go late on the brakes into turn 1. The Haas of Piastri also having similar ideas, but we've made our way up into P11 right off the bat. But we have to defend from Pierre Gasly, who forces us wide here, and we go early on the brakes just in case we crash into him. And now we get to watch this spectacular event unfold. Esteban Ocon versus Pierre Gasly through the first sector and into sector 2. Also, if you're wondering why the video looks a little bit better, I don't know if it will actually translate over to YouTube, but I did realise I was recorded in 30 FPS as we go down the inside of George Russell, Pierre Gasly into the DRS straight, and we get the move back, done, and back into P11 we go. He is going to challenge us though at the end of the DRS straight as we come down towards this heavy braking zone. He goes deep there, nearly hits Esteban Ocon. That would have gone a little bit spicy there, but he does get the move. I'm not really sure what to make of that. We don't really want to crash into him, but yes, 60 FPS now for these videos because apparently I was editing in 30 FPS, which is a little bit odd. I don't know if it'll look the same on YouTube. I'll have to tell you when I finally watch this one when it comes out. But here we go. DRS open, ERS on, and we go round the outside of Pierre Gasly, who goes deep into turn 1 and he smashes into the back of Esteban Ocon, and you can't even write this. That was incredible. We duped him into braking late, and of course Esteban Ocon was the man that he hits. These two famously hate each other. This is the onboard of Pierre Gasly. He goes very defensive on the inside, weaves all over the place, and just cannot slow himself down to prevent an accident between him and Esteban Ocon. Although, given the history these two have of disliking each other, you've got to wonder whether it was deliberate or not. So, Gasly will be, well, as you could see from the mini-map, slowing down the entire field. Robert Schwartzman next in line to try and get past him. He'll come into the pits and we'll try and get into the top 10 here. So we get a good run out of the final corner. The Alpine still quite strong. Initially gets away well, but we managed to go to the outside here. Can we dupe him to do the same? Yes, he brakes late. We get a yellow flag there as he actually completely stopped on circuit after that lockup, but we sweep round the outside and we get the move done, and up into P10 we go after that pretty shocking start. And here we are now following his teammate Lance Stroll. Looks like George Russell came in for an early stop, so he's way back. And Lance Stroll is not someone who's planning to be coming in early, given that he's on the mediums, so he'll be causing trouble later on in the race. We pick up fastest lap, which is great to see at this point in the race, but I expect it will be beaten. We try the same move on Stroll. He goes deep. We get the switchback there and force him to go out of our way. And we're up into P4 now, although we have got a few people in the pits. One of them is about to be us, and hopefully the 3 cars ahead of us. Alonso currently leading the race, which probably means that Norris and Sainz are going to get ahead of him here after that early stop for the pair of them. We come in then, following Sergio Perez. We've actually got quite close to him now. I don't think it's 9/10, but the game insists that it is. And there's Fernando Alonso running over some mechanics in the background. We kill one of the Haas mechanics. Tyres on, nicely done, and pull out dangerously ahead of Sergio Perez as we watch Nicholas Latifi with his 5 minutes of fame here, interfering with the championship. He goes for a late move on Max Verstappen, crashes into him and Charles Leclerc. We got 2 world champions from this career mode now fighting Nicholas Latifi, who's attempting to, well, presumably just crash into every single person who's leading the championship. He tries to knock our teammate off the road, unless he was trying to help slow down the competition and get Carlos Sainz back into P1. It's not worked. We watch Norris make the most bizarre maneuver over to the right-hand side there as he tries to get past Nicholas Latifi. We'll see how the Williams can do on the straights. He has got the soft tyre, but I expect it'll be worn out by now. Amazingly, though, Nicholas Latifi actually faster than one driver for the most part, that being Zhou Guanyu, who I will hold a grudge against for getting in my way twice in qualifying here. And the Williams actually doing a really good job here. He's managed to hold off Lando Norris as we come to the end of the DRS straight. Norris will be increasingly frustrated. He's actually lost out quite a lot here, considering he started on the front row. Latifi still on his way as we come through or approaching the final corners. Next to this kind of dogleg right, and Norris again going wide for no reason at all, and loses a position because of it. We close off the gap up the inside, and Nicholas Latifi, content that his work is done, has peeled off into the pits. Perhaps I was wrong about Latifi, and he was in fact trying to help us by holding up who is now our closest championship rival. As we watched, there was a battle going on into turn 1 there. I guess that was the Ferrari getting past Verstappen and Sainz. Alonso then, making up for the very narrow loss in the previous race, is currently leading by a margin that looks like to be outside of DRS range for Lewis Hamilton. But we are well within DRS range of our teammate Carlos Sainz with the ERS assist. We're going to go to the inside here and see if we can make the move done on our teammate. Late on the brakes, down the inside we go, and Carlos Sainz is more than happy to let us through here, as long as we can help him out with his Verstappen problem. And coming through the end of the DRS straight, we're right on the back of the Red Bull Porsche. Through sector 3 we will go. He's looking a little bit shaky there as we start weaving around over the back of his car. Close up nicely there through the exit of that pretty horrid corner. Flat through here. Try and close up as much as possible before the DRS zone into the penultimate corner. Nearly lose the rear slightly. Verstappen goes a little defensive. Through the final corner we go. We get a much better run through there than Verstappen, and he's going to be left vulnerable now down the pit straight. He goes defensive to the inside. We go to the outside. Late on the brakes we go. Verstappen's fighting it, but he goes late, and we get the switch back on the former world champion, and we take away his position. But unfortunately, up ahead, quite a large gap between us and the two other podium finishes. So I guess the responsibility has come to us now to just basically get in Max Verstappen's way and try and help Carlos Sainz get into the top 4. Considering he was running there earlier, it is the least we can do, and we ride on board with Carlos Sainz's front wing as we go through turn 1 very slow, and Verstappen is forced to go even slower than he usually should do. Carlos Sainz, he's got a good opportunity here, but he's going for the move already through sector 1, and he gets past the Red Bull Porsche with no issues whatsoever. But this puts him in a bit of a vulnerable situation, because I thought he would go past Verstappen on the DRS straight, but he's decided to go early, so we're now having to drop back and make sure that Carlos Sainz doesn't get absolutely shafted by Verstappen on straight line speed. So you can see there we've manoeuvred ourselves backwards to give Sainz the DRS and hopefully give himself something to defend from Verstappen. But actually it may have cost us a little bit, because Carlos Sainz is now within 2 tenths of us. As we come into the braking zone, he has decided to allow us to stay ahead of him, although he may have decided not to on another day. This is the onboard of Sainz. So you can see Verstappen compromised completely through that corner thanks to our defensive driving. Sainz goes to the inside, forces Verstappen to brake early, and takes the preferred line through the copycat corners of Mangots and Beckett's. But we're going to come round to the penultimate corner now. Carlos Sainz quite comfortably in P4. We will take the podium, but we've given our teammate a few extra points there as we cross the line and hopefully get the Teammate of the Year award from the FIA. And there was Alonso celebrating his win, so presumably he'll take over from Lando Norris as second in the championship. Talking of Norris, goes flying past us dangerously on the in-lap, and Fernando Alonso, well, he will be celebrating once again in his pink Alpine helmet, but By this stage, I think McLaren have given up trying to take that helmet off him, and instead he will just lift the trophy and continue to wear pink. So with that race out of the way, that leaves us just 4 races to go before the end of the season, and well, given the performance of McLaren, it's looking very unlikely that we'll be able to get the Constructors' title, but the Drivers' one looks to be safer and safer every race. So here we are then with the full race results, and as well as Fernando Alonso and Charles Leclerc finishing ahead of us, we did pick up the fastest lap as well. Behind us we had Carlos Sainz, Max Verstappen, Lando Norris, Sergio Perez, Lewis Hamilton, George Russell and Esteban Ocon rounding out the point scorers. Over to the Drivers' Championship, we still retain the lead at the top of the table ahead of Fernando Alonso, but he's just 10 points behind us. Then it's a big jump back to Lando Norris, then Max Verstappen, Sergio Perez, Charles Leclerc, Lewis Hamilton, Carlos Sainz, Esteban Ocon and Lance Stroll. Further down the order, we have George Russell, Pierre Gasly, Yuki Tsunoda and Kevin Magnussen as the final point scorers, followed by Dan Tinctum, Oscar Piastri, Alex Albon. Robert Schwartzman goes ahead of our former teammate Teo Pourchaire. Then we have Mick Schumacher, Zhou Guanyu and Nicholas Latifi. Finally, over to the Constructors' Championship, McLaren actually increased their lead over us yet again, as well as the Red Bulls. So we're still exactly as we were. Then we had Ferrari, Alpine, Mercedes, AlphaTauri, Haas, Williams, Audi and Aston Martin. That's all for this race. We'll catch you next time for Mexico.